You're listening to Moviesucktastic.
Sounds like some bad movie.
Insane.
All right, so this week we're reviewing the Menem Golan Yoram Globus train wreck. Canon film train wreck that is Masters of the Universe. A film that even rewatching now as an adult, I still hate, because I felt like when I saw this when I was a kid, but I was like 12 years old when this came out. Mm-hmm. It just felt like they took my childhood, shit on it, and just lit it on fire. That's what it felt like, because I watched the show. I collected the action figures. I was a kid when this was popular. This was really popular in the early 80s, 81, 82, 83, in that range. Well, and yeah. I was all in. And
we'll get into that in a couple minutes, yeah, as far as like the time frame.
Yeah, I mean, this movie was made like 5-6 years too late. Well,
I mean, before we get into the movie
exactly
itself,
like the Garbage Pail Kids, made way too late.
Right, but let's before we get into the film itself, just the basic idea. First of all, when you get into the directors and of the producers, the director really, Gary Goddard, and the people that were behind the screenplay,
right?
There was a lot of love for comic books and the toys. Basically, the toy line came out in 81.
Yes.
Right. The toy line introduced the characters, which were introduced in the little mini comics that you would get with the toys.
I had all of those.
Right. So they had a little storyline going there. In 83, the cartoon came out.
Yep.
And, I mean, Saturday morning cartoons just scare the shit out of me, because when you do the research, like I remember watching it, but you do the research, like, okay, it came out, it only was out for 2 seasons. And there's like 150 episodes.
Yeah, they were much like...
Holy shit!
Much like Transformers, we're talking like 40, 50 episodes a year.
Yeah, they would pretty much do one per Saturday.
Yeah, they were... they
were weekday shows. I'm sorry, they would show them after school on the weekday.
Oh, yeah. I would watch them before I'd go to school in the morning.
So they were filling up like... They and I don't know why they didn't just like show reruns over and over again, because we wouldn't have noticed. But yeah, they were cranking out mess loads of these shows.
Yep.
So you've got that from 83 on. Now, when you read about the director and the screenwriter, the movie is based on the toy line and not the cartoon.
Yeah, and you know what? Let me tell you something. That is true, because there's the one they send in 4 characters to go get the key and bring He-Man back alive. And that's Beastman,
Blade,
a character named Zorod,
the lizard guy.
And then Karg, which doesn't exist in the toy line.
Karg, really? That's the odd man out? I wouldn't have guessed.
Yeah, Karg does. I mean, obviously they made a toy when the movie came out, but that was the intention. They created an extra character just so that they can make a new toy. Because I did not have Karg when I'm watching this movie as a kid and then rewatching it as an adult, and I look at it, I'm like, who the fuck is Karg?
I don't even remember Blade.
Yeah, Blade was in the cartoon.
Okay, Okay.
And now, he did have a toy. He did have a toy, but he was in the cartoon. Beastman, right, where they refer to him in this as the Beastman, which doesn't make any fucking sense to me. Why put the in there?
Well, he's the Beastman. There's only one.
No, he was just called Beastman in the cartoon, and the action figure was called Beastman as well, not the Beastman.
That's probably Langella. Langella wrote a lot of his own stuff. So
and you know what? Thank fucking God, because Langella's performance is awesome. It is a wasted talent in this movie.
Oh, don't jump ahead, because I really want to focus on the origin of the movie first.
Okay.
Because here's what I'm getting at: the director, screenwriter, the people, the creative talent behind the film, were really inspired by like old Steve Ditko comic books. They wanted to make, and the comic books that were released with the toys. They're going off the toy line, and they want to do like a comic book type movie. Golden Globus, typical attitude of that time period. Comic books are for kids. We're making a movie. Yeah. Now, I don't know why they didn't realize they're making a kids movie, since it's based on a toy line, but that's Golden Globus. That's why this is the film that sunk fucking canon.
Good. Because you know what? They obviously didn't have the fucking budget to put it on fucking, in the universe that He-Man is in. They have to bring it to fucking Earth. It's like, really?
Originally,
it could not have been a more fucking boring idea than to have the He-Man universe on Earth. What the fuck? It took everything that was amazing about the cartoon and the action figures about being on this other world, and they bring it to Earth.
I believe that the director Goddard, I believe he had to actually fight near the end to give them at least the bookends of it being in Eternia, so the whole thing wasn't just on Earth.
And you know what?
They were really paring down the budget.
The Eternia stuff, they're just filming in New Mexico, for Christ's sake, like they do everything else. I mean, come on. Right? But the Eternia stuff doesn't look that bad, specifically like when they're in Castle Grayskull.
Hold on, let me cut you off on that. What? I keep getting sidetracked. I just want to cover real quick the whole idea of why this film sucks so much.
Okay.
All right. Just from a concept level. So you have the creative team who's like, hey, we're doing this. We want to do it like a comic book movie. The producers are saying, no, comic books are for kids. You got to make this like an action film, but for kids. So whatever. They're intentionally basing it on the toy line that came out in 1981. The cartoon, which most kids remembered and which was incorporated in the toy line, came out from 1983 to 1985.
Right.
The film is released in 1987. Can't have started being made until 1985. So by the time they're making the film, the cartoon is out and is He-Man. He-Man. Ba 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 ba.
I have the power. Yeah, it's just it's iconic.
Right. So
I did not want to go see this in a theater.
Right.
And I loved fucking He-Man.
But my point is, not only are they making the film 2 years too late, they're also ignoring the main thing that drove the He-Man beyond just a toy line into a pop culture icon, which was the cartoon series. And they're just throwing out the cartoon, saying, no, we're basically on the toy line. Anybody who had the toys watched the fucking cartoon.
Right.
So even the creative element of this film are lost. I mean, they wanted to put a credit to Steve Ditko in the credits, and Golden Globus said no. I think Ditko would say no, because it says, yeah, they were inspired by the old Ditko comic books. That's great, but you know what? You weren't even going off of you're going off the comic books that came with a toy. You're not going off the cartoons. You've already alienated your audience before you've even tried to placate them.
Yeah, I mean, I even went to go see the He-Man She-Ra movie that came out in, I think, 1984.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Then that spun off the She-Ra cartoon, which I watched, but not as religiously as He-Man, because it had a girl in it. But in all honesty, I mean, I did watch both of them and had...
Watch that before or after Gem?
I never watched Gem. And that's the God's honest truth. I would admit to that.
It's not. No one did.
Well, you know what was funny, real quick with Gem, not to get off track.
Too late.
Yeah, well, they made a movie called, Gem and the Holograms, or just Gem. And Mare saw the trailer and she was excited. I go, don't be excited. It was practically straight to video. And she's, because the cartoon sucked. And I said, they made a movie out of this? It's like, ugh. So
now, I'm just double checking because I don't remember the He-Man She-Ra movie. It's from what I'm seeing here, it was He-Man and She-Ra a Christmas special, and it was a TV special.
No, there was a theatrical release, He-Man and She-Ra. It might have had just She-Ra in the title because it introduced.
There's She-Ra Princess of Power, but that's a TV show.
Right. Well, the movie introduced She-Ra as He-Man's long-lost sister. Kind of like a Star Wars thing.
I'm just not seeing a theatrical release of a She-Ra movie here.
All right. I'll look for it.
Okay.
I saw it in the theater, so... Yeah.
It's so rare that I get to do that to you, so I had to do it. But I just wanted to get that out of the way that... So, just like the Garbage Pail Kids making a movie on a trading card game and then doing it after everyone's done with the trading cards, they're not even aiming at the market that they're aiming for. So it's bizarre. Now, Frank Langella, the only reason he did the film is because his kids loved He-Man.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he said, "Yeah, I'll do the film." That's how they snagged. And I always love reading that and all these things. Oh yeah, I did it because my kids liked it. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think Frank Langella was that busy in the late 80s.
No, he wasn't, but still. Yeah, it's called He-Man and She-Ra: The Secret of the Sword. Came out in 1985. So if you just do a search for The Secret of the Sword.
Oh, all right, because I followed like the link for He-Man the character, and it doesn't show it in the He-Man character thing. That's why. Okay. All right.
So yeah, that came out March of 1985 in the U.S. of A. And I saw that in a motherfucking theater.
Oh, here it is, The Secret of the Sword.
Yep.
Okay, it's not. It doesn't say He-Man or She-Ra.
Well, the original title is He-Man, She-Ra, The Secret of the Sword.
Well, as I say, IMDb has it.
I could swear when I saw it in a theater, that's what the poster said.
Oh no, the poster probably did. But I mean, the official title on IMDb is The Secret of the Sword, and then AKA when it showed on TV, The Sword of She-Ra.
Ah, okay.
All right. Just a feminist slap on to the He-Man Empire, which is full of male imagery. I'm not even getting to that right now. That's wait till I start telling you my theories on Skeletor. Forget it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Holly gave me a look. I mentioned to her. She's like, "You really think so?" It's like, "Yeah, I do." And she had a great theory about Grease, which I'll tell you later. I think you'll like this one.
Hold on. That's not the meme that's going around saying that Sandy is dead, is it?
Oh, that's the one, yeah.
Yeah, that's a meme that's been going around.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Okay, she told it to me. I assumed.
Yeah, it's an okay meme.
I like it.
It's fine. I could give a shit.
Did you see the video? I'm getting slightly off track, but did you see the video I posted on our Facebook page about the film theory thing about the Matrix?
No. When did you post it? When did you post it?
Like last night or the night before.
Oh, I haven't.
Okay, I'm just saying.
The last 2 days, I haven't done anything.
90% of film theories. Yeah, 90% of film theories you find on YouTube are crap, and I don't even like most of this guy's film theories. But his one on the Matrix is spot on.
Really? Okay.
Like it's fucking brilliant. I'm like, yeah. It's just like this. And I think he got a lot of credit for it. Other than that, most of his stuff is just like, okay, not bad. But I shared it on our Facebook page. I thought it was like brilliant.
I'll check it out.
Take a look.
I'll check it out.
I just mentioned that because of my Skeletor theory, which we'll get to that. But yeah, all right. So that's the basic setting. Shit filmmakers making a shit film, targeting an audience by totally ignoring the audience they're targeting.
Completely. And like I said earlier, I'm the target audience for this. I grew up with the toy line and the comic and the cartoon. And when this movie, my aunt actually had told me, because she had this fucking thing for Dolph Lundgren, they're making a Masters of the Universe movie. And I said, okay, it's not called He-Man and the Masters? No, it's just called Masters of the Universe. And I remember saying to myself, why? Why is it just called Masters of the Universe? And I said, okay, fine. So she gives me the magazine that shows it, and I see Dolph Lundgren as He-Man. I see Skeletor. And it had this whole, it was like this 10 or 15 page spread on them. And I'm like, I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this. You know, I was just like, this looks like shit. Like, no, I don't want to see this. So.
And you were right.
Yeah, I didn't go see it. I would have, had it been done correctly, had it taken place entirely on Eternia, I absolutely would have, well, my parents would have paid for it, but I would have absolutely seen this in the fucking theater. Absolutely. Just 2 years earlier, I saw the He-Man She-Ra movie, and I was elated. I was just like, this is awesome.
Elated, eh?
Elated.
We're actually using that word, elated.
Yes.
Okay.
That's how I felt about it.
Just checking.
Of course, this has a very young Courtney Cox in it.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
She takes place on Earth, and she is breaking up, or she's
contemplating
removing herself from I believe it's in Texas, or wherever the fuck she is. She's removing herself from that scenario because her parents died in a plane crash, and of course her father was flying it, a la JFK Jr. Obviously wasn't a good enough pilot, but they die.
Basically, she killed her parents. That's basically the gist of it.
It sounds like it. Because
but she said she killed her parents.
Well, she did, because she was supposed to go to the beach with them, and she said she didn't want to because she was actually going to hang out with her current boyfriend instead. And the parents said, "All right, we'll just go fly somewhere because I can fly." Blah blah blah. And then they fucking die in a plane crash. So she's beating herself up about it pretty good. And
as she should.
She's going to be moving to the East Coast to remove herself from that entire scenario, lifestyle, whatever you want to call it. And that's when He-Man and his merry band of idiots decide to go into... It's not even the future. It's just the different universe.
Different universe, right.
Which is Earth.
Now, the film opens up in Eternia, right?
It opens up in Eternia. Skeletor has basically kind of won the ground war.
Well, here's... I got to share... I'm watching it with Holly, who I don't think watched the cartoons.
I doubt it.
Okay? So, here's somebody who's unfamiliar with it, watching it, and she's asking me questions. So, first is like, how come all these stormtroopers look like Darth Vader? So, I don't know. They weren't in the cartoon.
No, they
I have no idea. Then she asks, well, all right, so Castle Grayskull, that's Skeletor's castle. So, well, no, Skeletor lives at Snake Mountain. Says, but it's Castle Grayskull. He has a skull. Wouldn't that be his place? It's like, you'd think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
If you were marketing to kids who pay attention, yeah, you'd think Skull. No, that's not his place. It's actually it's like it's not an evil castle. It's a neutral castle. So how can you tell? So well, because I know, and supposedly the architecture is supposed to tell you that, but it doesn't.
Well, and I'll tell you what, the Castle Grayskull, like the inside and everything, because they didn't have the budget even for they didn't really have the budget for Eternia at all. But
right.
When they were in the inside, they did have some set design. You could tell they spent some money on that. But everything else, where it's like matte paintings, and you know what, you could tell, but it still looked pretty fucking cool. Even the outside of Castle Grayskull, when they were zooming in on it, that was all matte painting. And I was okay with that.
You know what? I don't think that the set design or the matte paintings and all that stuff was that bad at all.
Yeah.
As, say, what passed for choreography whenever Dolph Lundgren leapt into the screen with his waving his dirty big sword around.
His big fat sword.
That first scene where
just smacking you in the face with his big fat sword.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, even the first scene where like they show him on the mountain and then the people are walking around, and like Holly's like, well, all right, well, how come they haven't got him? So, well, they're looking for him. Says, really? And he like just jumps down. So, well, there he is. and then there's like cut, swing, like not even like pretending to have any choreography.
No,
it's like they gave Dolph the sword, and like after a couple of days, tell you what, we're gonna cut away. Everybody will jump around a bit. We'll cut back, and you go. I mean, usually the first fight scene is like you really put a lot of effort into it, and it was like the most hastily shot. From that point on, it's gone.
Well, yeah. Well, and you know what? Yeah, another thing that they didn't do, obviously because they didn't have the budget, probably because it wouldn't have worked out because it is the 80s, and we saw how the film Beastmaster was. He didn't have his tiger, the Cringer Battle Cat, which is what he became when he became Superman, when he transformed from Adam. I have the power when he became Superman.
Prince Adam.
Prince Adam. So, they didn't bother to even include the fucking tiger that he had. Well, that could talk.
Was Prince Adam in the comic books in the toy line?
Yeah.
All right, because they don't even do that. I mean, Holly had some residual memory. I mean, honestly, it was just funny watching it with somebody else who just didn't know enough, and because the movie doesn't tell you enough. Because she's like, "Isn't he a prince or something?" So, yeah, Prince Adam. So for the first 15 minutes of the film, she's like, "How come he's not going to change yet?" So what do you mean? It's like, when is he going to change from Prince Adam into He-Man? So no, he's He-Man now. So where's Prince Adam? So there's no Prince Adam.
Yeah,
Prince Adam was a lie. Don't ignore Prince Adam.
It never happened.
So, and here's something else for
you. And here's the thing, too. I
Oh.
don't entirely disagree with cutting Prince Adam out altogether.
No, well, there was so much to cram into this film.
Right. Well, even if they remade it now, I would... yes, I know.
Okay.
But even if they remade it now, I would be okay if it was just He-Man and no Prince Adam.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. But I just, again, the film is leaving out stuff and it's not addressing things, and they're rushing everything. They're just rushing it, the backstory, to get them to New York. Not New York, sorry.
Texas?
Texas, yeah.
Texas.
Well, when they first showed up, and I hadn't seen it in a long time, so when they first showed up in the park, it's like, what's that sound? It's like, oh, wait, Central Park, right? And then the cow shows up, it's like, oh, okay, not Central Park.
Which apparently, I mean, I know it's Texas, but it's seems like a residential area. It's like just the cows wandering around.
Well, it happens.
It's nitpicky, but it's silly.
No. I've seen cows wandering around in Virginia, so I'm sure they're wandering everywhere in Texas.
Sure.
Like monkeys in India, just everywhere.
Yeah, I don't think so.
You wake up in the morning, cow on the roof. It happens.
Yeah, it
happens.
Just
so
hit it with your car, turn it into dinner.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like you said, it opens on Eternia. Skeletor has taken over Castle Grayskull, captured the princess,
Sorceress,
whatever her name is, Sorceress. That's right. I had to make that distinction to Holly, and then Evil Lynn's helping. Meg Foster, what a creepy chick.
I've always liked Meg Foster.
I don't like her because of her eyes. You know what it is with Meg Foster? She's not a great actress.
No.
No knock against her. But her eyes is in the fact that she's, attractive.
Oh, that carried her a long way.
That is the reason she gets work.
Yeah.
She's even said, as far as her eyes go, that she's she comes with her own special effects for sci-fi films. Right,
because of her eye. They're like this icy blue. It's like this shade of blue that I don't.
Not, that's like zombie white. I don't know what the fuck it is.
It is like it's a color I've never seen before.
And she is slamming as Evil Lynn.
Oh yeah.
She rocks it as Evil Lynn. She pulls it off. Not a great actress, but she's got the presence. She can deliver a line, and she's got those fucking eyes.
Yeah.
And the only other films I think of when I think of her, besides this, is They Live, obviously.
That's about the only other thing I think of when I think of her.
Honestly, I always remember...
was she in Blind Fury?
Yes, Blind Fury. She's the mother that gets killed in the beginning.
Okay, yeah.
And I just remember, because I saw that. I think I saw that in my life before They Live, and her eyes always freaked me out in that film. Oh, I mean, and she's only in the film for like 5 minutes when and then it's killed.
I can't think past this, Blind Fury, They Live. Other than that, I couldn't tell you what else she was in.
Well, we discussed a couple others that we'll mention later. But
okay.
Yeah.
And again, I only had one idea for a movie challenge, and when we get to that part, we can talk about it. If you don't like my challenge, maybe we'll do something else. But there's only one movie I kept thinking of, and it's because of Billy Barty.
Now,
so take that into consideration.
Billy Barty. Now, I will say this. I didn't even think Skeletor's costume was that bad.
No. I was actually okay with Skeletor. Even when I was a kid, I don't know. I just had this... I was just okay with... It's like, listen, I know they can't do it exactly like the cartoon because he's essentially a skeleton. And, you know, I was just okay with it. I never had a problem with Frank Langella's performance, even as a kid.
No, he's the only real actor in the film, and some of the lines he has, which apparently he wrote himself.
Wasted talent. And now, and you know what? I didn't know he did that, and when you told me that this episode, it makes a lot of fucking sense, because he, like you just said, is spot on. A wasted talent.
Well, the one line he uses, like, I'm not in a forgiving mood today.
Vain.
Something
I'm not in a forgiving vein.
Vain today. That's actually from Shakespeare.
Oh, really?
It's like I think Macbeth, Hamlet, something. I forget which one.
Well, when Evil Lynn introduces the four characters, I love the line where it's curious quartet.
Yeah.
It's like, I know he wrote that. Now that you've said that he wrote some of his stuff, I go, okay, he definitely wrote that himself.
You know, he reminds me of Cletus from Flash Gordon at that point.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a few things in this film that reminded me of Flash Gordon. And when did Flash Gordon come out? Around the same time?
Flash Gordon came out in 1980.
80, okay. Because not only does he remind me of Cletus.
Have we ever? We haven't reviewed Flash Gordon, and now that you mention it,
Flash Gordon.
I should have thought about Flash Gordon.
We still have time.
Well, okay.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Let's not get stray.
Okay.
Some of the music. Oh, by the way. When you know you're in trouble with Masters of the Universe when the credits come up, it's like, oh, so we're gonna rip off the Superman opening.
Even the music sounds like Superman in the opening.
Even the credits, like da 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 da.
Yeah, the music is. As a matter of fact, I'm surprised they didn't have some sort of a lawsuit because it sounded too similar to Superman.
The tones are off. You know, I'm sure.
No. I know they would have to have a lot more for a lawsuit, but. I'm surprised that they didn't even try.
And I guarantee you the only reason they didn't incorporate cartoon aspects of this is that they couldn't get the rights.
Maybe.
I guarantee it's a different rights for the broadcast and for the television stuff, which are different creators than the toy line. Otherwise, why the hell would you not go with your preset theme, He-Man? Ba 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 ba. That's a catchy fucking song.
Sure. I had the video game, the Intellivision video game, the Atari 2600 video game. It was horrible, but I had it. Wow, yeah. But I had it, and even the game had that music. They were able to do that music. But
it's like you see the potential in Evil Lynn's and Skeletor's costumes and you know Langella, them getting Langella and him like, you know, throwing stuff in there. You're right, that was one of the quirky quartet.
The curious quartet.
And they got the sexual tension between him and Evil Lynn, you know, that going on.
I did not suggest I'd go. Then you shouldn't have fucking spoke, bitch.
Yeah. You're paraphrasing, I think.
A little bit, just a little bit.
And sadly, and I think you're right with the whole idea of leaving Eternia, because I think the whole film falls apart once they go to Earth.
The second they get to Earth, and the only reason they did it, and I don't have any proof or read it anywhere, I can guarantee you they just didn't have the budget to keep it on Eternia.
Oh, no. That's what it is. That's why they originally wanted it to be entirely on Earth, because there's no budget.
Yeah. $22 million they spent, which is one of the more expensive films in 1987.
Well, it's one of the most expensive Golden Globus films, which is why they folded. Yeah,
well, good. But it made $17 million, so it didn't even make back the money they spent.
Well, it shouldn't have. Now, here's another thing. It's as far as backstory. Now, they got rid of Orko.
Uh-huh.
And again, I'm saying, I guarantee you, it's because they couldn't get cartoon rights, and Orko was from the cartoon first. Right. And they made a toy out of him from the cartoon.
Well, that's why they created Karg, I bet, to replace somebody.
Not Karg. It was a different name than that.
It was Karg, the guy with the white hair.
No. I'm talking, Orko, the little wizard guy.
Oh, yes. That
Bill Sparty's character replaced him.
That makes complete sense now that you mention it. Yeah.
And that just when they say, "Oh, we were just following the toy line," it's because you couldn't get the rights to the cartoon, so you couldn't use the tiger, you couldn't use Orko.
Well, that and the fact that even if they could get Orko, you know how much money they'd have to spend to have him float around everywhere?
That too, but they could have just put like Billy Barty in like a robe. That would have been fine, but they couldn't even do that, so they had to. It would have been cheaper to put him in a robe with like a black face instead of like dressing him up like this weird creature.
Right, which you could see part of his face when he talked too. The costume was so fucking bad.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
My favorite costume thing was for the Beast Man.
The Beast
Apparently,
Man.
Because of what he had in his mouth for the jaws, he couldn't close his mouth all the way when he was in costume, and he would start drooling, and then the drool would fill up the chin of his mask.
Oh my God, it's disgusting. It's like in Evil Dead, Evil Dead 2, the one scene where, when what's her face comes out
Henrietta.
when she comes out of the
fruit cellar.
The fruit cellar. There's a shot that she's on. I mean, you could see that she's floating, which is on wires. You could see just this viscous, like beigey liquid pouring out of the side of the costume,
ear. Right out of the ear, actually,
because of how much the person in costume was sweating. Mm-hmm. And there's a making of on the DVD that the special edition that we have, and I watched it and I'm like, that is fucking foul. The fucking latex and costumes and whatnot that's disgusting.
Yeah, no, it's horrible.
And now that I've seen it, I can't unsee it every time I watch it. It's just like I'm waiting for it. Just see this stream of just beigey liquid just pouring out of the costume.
That's one of the things that makes that film, that kind of stuff that's in there. It's really just that's great. But anyway, back to He-Man. Now here's where everything falls apart. Obviously, when they go to Earth, right?
Right.
Because they
immediately
He-Man bumps into Man-at-Arms and Teela.
Yeah.
Now, here's another one. 10 minutes into the film, again, if you're watching the film and you don't know these characters, Holly's like, so him and his sister are going there. So no, whose sister? What? He-Man's sister. It's like, no, they're not related. That's the daughter of Man-at-Arms.
Right.
Who's that? The old guy. It's like, oh, I thought he was his father. No. But I'm not knocking her. They don't explain it. He just like bumps into these two people and says, oh, hi, Man-at-Arms. He doesn't even call him Man-at-Arms, does he? Not right away.
No, not right away.
They just talk. They don't even like give character names in that scene. They just move on. They don't mention Teela's name till later. I don't know when they actually call Duncan at some point, but why the fuck would you call him Duncan when he's Man-at-Arms?
Yeah, I think that they refer to him as Duncan mostly in the film.
Yeah, it's Man-at-Arms.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
Too much of a mouthful? Bet you Dolph Lundgren had problems with
Man-at-Arms.
Well, he was still working with English. English was still iffy with him at this point, so he was
right. I mean, out of nowhere, just for no reason, he just kept telling people he was going to break them, and they're like, "What's going on?" Well, why do you keep saying that?
How many times did you do that during the film? I did it twice.
Yeah, I would break you.
I must break you, Skeletor. It's not. It's lame,
everything
but
he
it's
hits,
funny.
He destroys. Uh-huh. It's too easy for me to just challenge you to Rocky IV. I'm not doing that. So,
well, if you watch carefully, you'll notice that every time he speaks, it's all in short sentences.
Oh yeah,
he doesn't have a lot of.
They knew what they were working
sentences.
with. They knew what they were working with.
Yeah. Well, originally, I read that they actually had in the contract where they were allowed to dub his lines.
Oh really?
But he put it in a contract where he was allowed two shots at dubbing them himself. And then they were so behind budget, they're like, fuck it. Just leave it in. Fine. Why waste... Basically, it's like, why waste the time dubbing twice with him? Because that's not going to be any better. And it was like, fuck, forget it.
Yeah. We're already over budget.
I don't think he was that bad. I mean, as far as, like, for this film. Right. But, yeah, you pay attention. Very short sentences. One. They didn't give him, like, blocks of dialogue to work with. And, which is probably one of the reasons why the film feels very slow.
It is a slow movie. It's fucking boring.
Well,
I'm sorry, a He-Man movie, it should not be boring. There's just so much going on in the He-Man universe that it just... Just the fact that it's on Earth is just reason. And you know what? The copy that I have has director commentary on it, which I did not get to listen to.
Oh, dude, I wish I had the time. And actually, I was going to listen to it last night, but your system was down, so I couldn't get to it.
What time did you try and watch?
8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. It was saying it wasn't connectable.
Oh, I did a 15-hour day yesterday, so I had never even logged into my system.
But
you should have just texted me. I can log in from anywhere.
Yeah. I'm just hoping it's... when was the commentary recorded? That's the question. Was it like when the DVD came out?
It's got to be when the DVD came out.
Because I want to hear the 20-year reunion one where it's like, oh, yeah, this bullshit. Like where they don't care.
Yeah. Actually, from what I understand, from what I've listened to, it is only the director in a room.
Okay. That's
it could be someone else. No, you know what? There is one other person, but I don't think it's anyone from the production of the film. I think it's just someone that's moderating.
I just remember I was talking to somebody recently about, again, like it was one, I think it was City of the Damned. Like an old zombie film, and it was commentary or an interview with the director, but we're talking like 30 years later. He was like, yeah, the lead actor, I hated him. Yeah, he couldn't act for shit. I wanted John Saxon. They wouldn't give me John Saxon. I got this guy. He was stiff as a board. He couldn't act. He didn't want to, he was in a soap opera, so all of a sudden he's in my film. I love that kind of commentary where you separate the years, and it's like the need to actually like pretend that you did something on purpose is gone. It's like, yeah, what the fuck was this?
Like the Chud commentary. Awesome.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like, yeah, that fucking guy. Oh yeah, he wrote a nude scene in there. Yeah, we all know why.
Well, or he's pretty much like calling the guy like an asshole.
Yeah, call him a pervert asshole.
Yeah, you gotta. Oh, I love that. You know what was a good commentary too? Was not to get off track. Was we talked about it during our review of it, but the Linda Blair film.
The Savage Streets.
Savage Streets, great audio commentary. It's like a couple decades later.
Yeah,
it's not mean spirited, but they're like, yeah, this was crazy. I don't know what we were doing here. And,
exactly, and it was it was the one guy that was he was the head gang member, and I think one of his henchmen, and then it was two other guys. Maybe it was the director and I think production guy. Yeah. It was the director and a production guy or sound guy or something.
Yeah,
and
that was a great.
It was a great audio commentary.
It's so I wish I'd gotten a chance to listen to it before this episode. All right, now we mentioned Earth. When they get to Earth,
yeah.
Gwildor has created a sonic key, which Evelyn stole from him. I wonder how. And so there's this thing where they teleport themselves into Castle Grayskull, and then realize that was a bad idea, and then they teleport themselves randomly to Earth.
Yep. They didn't know where they were going. They just knew they had to get out of Dodge.
Yeah. So of course they end up in the cesspool of the universe.
Yeah.
Texas, not Earth. And they bump into Courtney Cox and the young guy who I just he reminded me so much of what's his name, the guy he plays Scooby-Doo Scrappy
Matthew Lillard. Matthew Lillard.
Yeah, it reminded me so much like it could be him. Like if,
you know what he looks like? He looks like he looks like Chris Pratt. If Chris Pratt went back in time.
you know what? You know what it is. There's such. I had to check IMDb. I went through his entire list twice. It's like, I know this fucking guy. No, I don't.
Yeah,
he looks like every typical '80s guy.
Yeah.
In a TV show, I was like, I noticed. No, I don't.
And he looks a lot like fucking Chris Pratt. At least I thought. I was like the whole time I'm like, I know it's not Chris Pratt, but is this like Chris Pratt's uncle or some shit?
It's really, he's got one of those faces. It's so typical of the '80s that you just really think you know this guy.
Yeah.
And then so her parents are dead. I wonder if that'll come back later. And they find the key, and he thinks it's a Japanese synthesizer because he's mildly retarded. Yeah, and yes. I'm not sure why. I guess because it was the '80s, but I guess they thought music would play a really big part in their audience of comic book / cartoon / toy playing people.
Well, didn't they try and sell a soundtrack for this too?
Did they? They must have.
I think they did. Now I gotta look it up now.
I'll let you look it up.
Yeah.
but I bet I know it's not on the soundtrack.
What's that?
Yeah,
because that's a cartoon. They couldn't get the rights for it.
Exactly. There's
a motion picture soundtrack. Of course there is. And it's $40 because I guess it's rare.
Yeah, because no one bought it.
Jesus Christ, you can't even listen to it. It just says here it's $40, bitch. That's basically that's what the auction says. It says it's $40, bitch.
YouTube's probably got it somewhere if you did a search. Everybody posts shit on music on YouTube. That's the one thing I love with YouTube as far as like the copyright stuff. Right. You get all this old music out there that no one's actually looking for because there's no market for it, or nobody like cares about the rights anymore. So you're better luck listening to music than actually like catching an old TV show or film on YouTube anymore. Which makes sense since it was started by Bono. But anyway,
it's got 11 tracks. So this is the score, I guess.
What else is it? What else is there?
Well, it looked like there was a couple of music videos, but
is the Springsteen video on there?
Yeah.
Do you know? I never knew about that. Holly mentioned it while we were watching the show.
Oh, really? No, I knew that.
I had no idea. She's like, oh yeah, maybe Springsteen's in here. So why would he be in here? It says Courtney Cox. It's like I don't understand the connection.
Yeah, she was so in his video. He pulls her up on stage, and they're doing the whitest white person dance ever. It's just fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it was news to me. I'd never heard of that before. That's the other thing this movie reminded me of was Supergirl.
Well, yeah, it's because Supergirl, the music and title sequences were a ripoff of Superman, and this was a ripoff of both.
Well, I mean, like, even with the key, we're like, oh, this key, we can open doors. I was like, yes, and then with the Burundi wand, we can combine the forces.
And had we not reviewed Supergirl, it's probably something I would have considered.
That would have been a great, yeah.
It's just the way we are.
We are. You know what? I recently pared down my DVD collection to a bare few, and one of the ones I'm still keeping is the
special edition
Supergirl special edition 2-disc set with the European cut. I'm not getting rid of that. I'm not. I don't care that I have it digitally restored.
I'm looking over to my right, and I still have a DVD wall with like 500 DVDs on it that are worth jack shit. I mean, I got a couple in there that might be worth something. Some of the numbered editions like Suspiria and Opera and, Army of Darkness, where they only made like 20 or 40,000, or I forget what it was, 30,000, I think. Those are probably worth something. My Memento,
you know what?
It's just, but everything else I have digitally, and there's just no reason to keep them. It's just
the only stuff I keep is sentimental. That's why I still have 2 VHS tapes.
Oh, okay. But
you know which ones?
VHS tapes? What do you have?
I have three VHS tapes for sentimental reasons. You know them, right?
You
know at least one of them.
I can't, for whatever reason, the Bobby Benson film, I can't remember it.
Oh, yeah, you got one right. Die Laughing.
That's it. Die Laughing.
And I also have The Wizard of Speed and Time.
And
Death Wish 3.
Death Wish 3. I love Death Wish 3, and I'm always going to refer. I'm always going to refer to the head gang member with the horseshoe balding, where just the stripe down the middle.
Did we review that, or
we've just talked about it a lot.
Yeah,
we should review it because we've talked about it enough that it should be a review at this point.
Know, if we ever do that, we know in the future, I'm going to recommend that we like once a month we do like a whole series review.
Oh, okay, sure. Like all the Rambos or all the Death Wishes or
all the Friday the 13th.
Oh God, how do you get through that in just a 2-hour episode?
I don't know, but I kept notes on all of them when I did my marathon.
You're a better man than me.
Anyway, yeah. So the Springsteen White Dance video, they don't reenact it here, but so they come in contact with the key, Skeletor's people, they can triangulate stuff because it's like they have swords, but they have lasers. Go figure. And so then Man at Arms, He-Man, it's just a big mess where they. I like the fact where the Beast Man and Blade and all the people, they go to the high school, saddest high school prom ever, and they attack Courtney Cox because why not? And so she's being attacked by all these weird animals.
Well, they attack her because the key was there like 5 minutes ago.
But I mean, they're attacking this girl. I mean, like, like she's He-Man.
Well,
so she runs down an alley and then she bumps into a half-naked man with a cape and gold studs.
And she's fine with it.
It's okay. I'm not going to hurt you. And she believes him. No, there's nothing wrong with this. There's nothing odd here at all. No.
Yeah.
You have my trust, sir. After all this other shit. And I know they show him put his sword on his back occasionally. There's no fucking way.
No.
There's nothing, because when she bumps into him, he's like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And then,
well, if you notice, when he puts the sword in the back, you see him do it, and they quickly cut away, because it's like, we just need you to make the motion that you're putting it there, and then we'll cut away, and then that's it.
Just harken back to the first time you see He-Man. He's watching Skeletor's hologram say, I'm your roar.
Yeah,
and
in the sky.
The sword. He's holding the sword down, but out at such an odd angle so that you can see it from beyond the big cape on his back.
Right.
And so the big flowing cape, there's no kind of snaps there for the sword on the back of that cape.
Nope.
The only time they're there is when we have to see him put the sword there so we know. That's it. Now, it shouldn't bug me because it's based on a toy line and a kid's cartoon. But you know what? Those toys, that sword snapped on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember I had the toy.
So, you know what I find interesting? One of the action figures that I had, you mentioned that the ones that you had, I had an action figure, one of the bad guys called Stinkor.
I had Stinkor.
Okay, so as a kid, I remember smelling this. It's like, when I bought it, I was like, oh, this is going to really stink horribly. And I pick it up and I smell it. And it did have a smell, but there are colognes that I smell now. Just these days that smell just like Stinkor. And I'm like, that was supposed to be this offensive smell when I was a kid growing up because they put it in this action figure. And as an adult, I'm like, you're wearing some like fucking Stinkor cologne. You don't know this, but I do.
If they made Stinkor cologne, I would buy it.
I bet you would.
Yeah, I would.
I bet you would.
You know, speaking of the monsters real quick, you mentioned the one guy that wasn't a toy. Karg. I swear, Karg was. Oh, we have all this makeup, this special effects makeup left over. Let's just throw another monster in.
Yeah, pretty much.
I would even say like Karg was an early failed makeup test of Skeletor, and they didn't want to waste it, so they put a fright wig on it and called it somebody. If you look at it, it looks like a pseudo Skeletor. I'm telling you.
Wouldn't doubt it.
Early test makeup. Yeah.
Well, there's a shot where Skeletor looks directly at the camera. Like he gets a little too close, and you could just see Frank Langella's face, like where the eyes are. You could just see Frank Langella's face a little bit because they couldn't go completely around the fucking eyeball. Nah. But it was just like, he probably shouldn't have zoomed in he probably shouldn't have gotten that close to the camera.
You know why? Because Frank Langella's got a good agent.
Yeah.
They also, at his request, trimmed down the costume. They had so much more like padding on it, and he made them like cut the arms off so he could actually move.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I tell you, I dig his costume. I really do.
See, the thing is, Skeletor is as ripped as He-Man is in the comic and the cartoon, and you could totally tell that Frank Langella not ripped at all.
Let me rephrase. That's dig why Skeletor's costume.
That's why he had the cape on him a lot.
Yeah, but I dig Skeletor's costume up until he pulls the God of Ra change. Like, oh, I'm a master of the universe now. I'm all gold.
Yeah.
Let this be our final battle.
And of course, if you watch the credits all the way through, this was one of those movies where, because he falls down into like this fucking pit of like lava and shit, and you pretty much get the assumption that he's dead. If you watch the credits all the way through to the end. Spoiler alert. His head pops up out of the muck, lava, whatever the fuck it is, and he just says, "I'll be back," and then that's it. It's over.
You know, it's like I half of his delivery, I swear, it's Ripley's Believe It or Not. Why can't I think of his name? I fucking God damn it.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do, and I don't remember his name either.
I'm. You know, it's been a long day, and I feel very, very sad that I can't tell you.
Wait,
Jack Palance. Jack Palance.
Jack Palance.
Yeah, half his delivery is like, that's Jack Palance, right? Especially and when he's, "I'll be back," it's like, that's Jack Palance. The you know what, his Skeletor's face with the makeup looks like Jack Palance. If you just put Jack Palance in whiteface, that he would look like Skeletor. That's the face right there.
Tango and Cash, Cash and Tango.
Don't, you're killing me. Now we're not talking about the big star of the film. My favorite character in the whole film,
which is
James Tolkien.
Oh yeah, did that guy ever have hair?
Detective Lubick.
Yeah, Back to the Future.
Yeah, he plays, surprise, surprise, he plays a dick in this movie.
Oh yeah, I love it. I love at the end, and he's got like, he goes, "I got this hot chick, and you know, it's beautiful scenery," and he's like, "Some kind of retirement, huh?" And he just kind of, you could tell that he did that only a couple of times, and he's like, "Yeah, it's perfect. Let's not change anything." Well, why?
Yeah. You know, this is one of those episodes where I wish Holly was like out doing the show with us.
Yeah.
Because she had so much feedback when we're watching the movie. So it's like the perfect setup. We're watching it, and like, so they save the day, and they teleport a part of Texas back to Eternia. I'm sure they disposed of it properly. And he decides he's going to stay. So he's wearing this like weird tunic. He's got this like hot girl on his shoulder. He's like, "You sure you're gonna stay, Detective Lubick?" "Hey, wait a minute, I got my own castle. I got my own girl. Yeah, it's like, you know, nice view, great retirement, huh?" She turns to me and says, "Wait, who's the girl?" I says, "Well, it's his girl."
Yeah.
I said, "Where did he get the tunic?" What do you mean? They've only been there like 10 minutes. How does he have a castle? I just turned to her and was like, "He's not a slacker."
Slacker, just like your old man.
Yeah. Well, you got your point. Exactly. That's what happens when you're not a slacker. You're in like an alternate dimension. Immediately, they're like, "Hey, you have a castle?" "No." "You should have one." I agree.
Yeah. They don't even go into the fact that he could have had a wife or kids or a girlfriend or.
That would even be even better.
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, let's see, you're trying to get alimony out of me now. Yeah, good luck paying that prep school bill. Fuck you."
He just got up and fucking disappeared.
It's like the one character I want more backstory on. If he's gonna abandon everything.
Yeah, it's like he's Detective Lubick from the alternate universe in Back to the Future where Biff controls everything. Like that's Detective Lubick from, like, that's the character in Masters of the Universe.
Oh, you hurt me.
That's the guy. Like when he fucking comes out with a shotgun on Marty McFly. It's like that's the same fucking guy that's in Masters of the Universe.
Oh, you know, there's like, even like when they were doing in the high school prom room, I'm thinking, yeah, so, you know, it's like, this is like Back to the Future. Oh, that would have been a great fucking crossover if they teleported into He-Man. He-Man had teleported into Back to the Future Earth.
Hell, I mean, it's only 2 years removed. I
mean, get rid of Courtney Cox and the kid. Just keep Lubick, but make him more like the detective from Night of the Creeps.
Oh, yeah.
Bit more suicidal, a little on edge.
Yep.
And then put him in a weird land and like, "Yeah, I'll take a tunic."
Oh my god.
And then of course they you know, spoiler alert, they save Courtney Cox.
Yeah, and she comes out in what I could only describe as an outfit that you would wear on this, you know, a fucking house on a prairie.
Again, Holly, we're watching it. Say, "That's what she wears to bed."
Yeah, it's like, Jesus Christ. I mean, she's wearing a fucking comforter. It just.
But then she runs out to find her boyfriend, Kevin. He's fully dressed, like the same clothing he had on.
Yeah.
What the
Yeah, it's like she's dressed like a Duggar. He's wearing the same clothes.
Yeah, so but how far back were they when her parents died? I mean, how far back in time did they go?
I don't want to say that it was like a couple of years because I don't think it was that long.
Had to be, because she's telling, like, Kevin's like, you know, I ever tell you it's my fault. It's like, what do you mean? It's like, this didn't come up like when it happened?
Right.
Was this your boyfriend when they died? I mean, I forget what the year was on the tombstone. Shit.
Oh, fuck. That's a good idea to check that out.
I'll check it out right now while we're talking.
Go ahead and check it out right now.
All right, the one thing I want to mention, and I'll hand this off to you, when you're talking about how the movie's kind of boring.
Yeah.
Here's a great example: is that there's the one sequence where they're in Texas and apparently everyone left town for the weekend because there's like nobody on the streets. There's like fucking people, skeleton heads like floating around on thrones with stakes and shit, and there's not even any homeless people around to throw away their liquor bottle and walk away shaking their head. You know, and it's that desolate. So you get to the point where they bring out, they teleport in, or whatever you call it, guys riding on the foot flyers.
Sure, yeah, which looked awful.
They looked awful in not Back to the Future, Highlander. They looked awful in Highlander 2.
Yeah,
they even looked awful when Spider-Man did it with the Green Goblin. Whenever you're standing on something that's flying, it does not look good.
No. Even when they did it in Spider-Man 3, when they had a few years later and a lot more money, like $200-300 million, it still looked bad.
You know what? It's just the physics don't work. It's like that. What is it called now? Those things you stand on that hurt you.
Hoverboards?
Hoverboards, yeah. They're not a board. They don't hover. How are they fucking hoverboards?
They're retarded.
They're not a board.
I know that's not the politically correct way to say that, but
all I've ever seen is videos of people hurting themselves on them. I've never seen someone successfully ride one of those.
Didn't Mike Tyson? Didn't they have a video of Mike Tyson falling on his ass too?
I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure.
Hope so.
I'm pretty sure there's a video of Mike Tyson falling on his ass trying to use one.
But what I'm getting at is the physics don't work.
No.
It's like watching It's like watching Reed Richards in the Fantastic Four movies. I don't care which one you watch.
If they made a real board that hovered that could do that, and someone mastered it, it would still look dumb. It's impossible though, because the physics, standing on something flying like that, you're not going to do it unless you're leaning at like a 45-degree angle forward, and that's just going to look weird. Or your boots are magnetically attached to them in some way.
Right. So what I'm getting at is they have the scene where they have the guys flying on the hoverboards, and eventually He-Man steals one.
Yep.
And I kind of flash back to when I was a kid in the theater watching Star Wars, the Jedi Returns, whatever it's called. The third one.
Return of the Jedi.
And they have Return of Jedi, and they have the whole thing with the speeders through the
forest.
Remember how exciting that scene was?
Sure.
Right. Remove all of that excitement. And I'm watching the He-Man movie, and I'm thinking, this should not be boring me to death. There's actually a lot going on. There's a lot of movement. There's a lot of action, and I'm ready to fall asleep. What's going on?
Yeah, no, it's poor execution. It's just really what it comes down to.
Well, even with the bad special effects, though, just the fact that there's action happening on the screen, and for some reason, they filmed the action in just the right way, where it had the opposite effect of being actiony. It's non-actiony.
Yeah. So what's the year on the tombstone? Have you gotten it?
I'm still getting it. Bear with me.
Here, I'll get it.
That's why I was throwing that to you. I'm getting it.
I get it. I bet I get it before you.
No, see now you're like challenging me, and I don't like that because
you don't like confrontation. I know.
Well, no, I enjoy confrontation. It just never ends well for me. But we both can't do it at once because someone else has to be talking, and this is a radio show.
Yeah, but
whatever.
I get it before you.
No. I handed it off to you.
Yeah, here it is. I got it.
Talk now. Now it's your turn.
It's right here. No, I got it.
God damn it.
It's at the 25-minute mark.
I'm at it too. But they're talking. They won't look at the tombstones again.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, here it is.
I'm going to get it first.
No, you're not. You're not. I'm telling you, you're not.
Problem is, it's right up against the scene where they're eating ribs. If there's ever a scene where the people are eating ribs in your space adventure movie, just shit canned the whole film right there.
Yeah.
No.
What? This used to be alive? Yeah.
Yeah, because they don't have ribs on Eternia.
Yeah, I know. They're fucking vegan. Yeah. I'm sorry. You're not going to be ripped like that if you're not eating some kind of fucking protein or meat.
Yeah. I mean, then again, it's a desert. So, I got it. 1986.
So it's a year before.
A year. Well, and you gotta. If the film was released in 87, they were making it in 86. So either they planned ahead or it happened like within the year. So they haven't been dead that long.
So, yeah, it's a short period of time.
All right. It just seems weird that... It was like, so your boyfriend was dressed in the same then as he did now? I mean, that's just sad. But I guess if it's under a year, I guess. She was just talking about it like it happened like a decade ago. It was like so distant.
Yeah, no. It was recent.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Courtney Cox's character, dumbest chick on the planet.
Pretty stupid.
Oh, there's my dead mother and she wants the key. This all makes perfect sense to me.
Mom, I miss you. Why did you leave?
Everybody's pissed at Lubick because he doesn't buy the whole, space monsters from a different dimension thing. yeah. They're like, come on, Rubik, this is real. Meanwhile, the minute she sees her dead mother, she's like, oh, obviously this is not a ruse.
All right, let's go ahead and rate this.
I have one more comment.
Okay. Oh,
all right.
I think I know where you're going with this.
No, you don't. Why
sure,
were you going?
You mentioned it earlier.
What I mentioned?
That you would get into it, the whole Skeletor thing.
Oh, well, that's something different. I'm just talking about from the cartoon in the toys. There's a whole male homoerotic sexuality thing going on between He-Man and Skeletor. They're both parts of the male ego, and Skeletor is the circumcised male ego.
Oh, and
that's why he's got the skull face.
He-Man is the unclipped.
Is the unclipped, and they both each have half the sword, so they all have. So it's all like the whole sword is a male phallic symbol to begin with. Don't forget, He-Man rides a tiger, which is a feline. So it's almost like he has tamed the female persona, as you will, male master over the female. Whereas Skeletor is dominated by evil Lyn and stuff. So there's there's a lot going on there.
It's a bit of a stretch, but I like it.
Skeletor as the circumcised male ego. Seriously. That's why he's angry.
No, but I still like it.
All right. You think? No. Yeah, no. All right, fine. Nah. But I was going to say was the one thing that bugged me near the end. It was like, okay, in the beginning of the film, remember they teleport themselves into, for better lack of a word, into Castle Grayskull, where Skeletor and his men are.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh shit, we made a mistake. We have to teleport out of here real quick. While they're armed, and there's only like a handful of men there with Skeletor. Then at the end of the film, they kidnap He-Man and his friends teleport in. There's more people, and now Skeletor is a master of the universe, a god, I guess you could say. And all of a sudden, somehow, the tables have tipped in favor of He-Man and his cronies.
Oh, so it doesn't make sense.
They could have just as easily, if they could defeat Skeletor as a god with all these extra henchmen at the end of the film, they could have easily they could have easily overthrown him at the beginning of the film with less men.
Yeah, they wouldn't have to go anywhere.
That's all. That's yeah. I really, it's like
it's a very good observation. But then there's no shitty movie. So
yeah, I just it's like, all right, they're fighting just like they were in the beginning. What's the difference here? Okay, they have a car to hide behind, and they have like one guy with a shotgun. Did Lubick really? That's why they gave him a castle, because he tipped the scales. They've got lasers. Like, what's this strange thing that shoots metal? This is my shotgun. What are you talking about? It's a strange boomstick. You are our master now.
They're in his debt.
Yeah. Even Ash could have crossed over to He-Man. Now there would have been a movie.
Oh, there you go. All right. So on IMDb, the film is, I think, 5.3?
Yes.
Okay. What do we want to give it?
Not a 5.
I was going to say 4. Because it's well below average.
The only reason I'm not saying 3 is because I dug Evil Lyn and Skeletor's costumes. And you know what? I kind of got the concepts, like how they tried to do Castle of Grayskull, where the top statues were all the people that were like used it for good, and then below was like all the people that used it for evil. So it's kind of a neutral castle with the power. There was so much effort from a creative standpoint into the film, even though much of it wasn't understandable or didn't make it past the producers, who were jackasses. I give a lot of credit just for that kind of just the fact they wanted to dedicate it to Steve Ditko. I was like, yeah, you deserve a star just for that.
Okay, so 4.
So I would say I'm happy with 4.
All right, cool. All right, let's go ahead and end the show.
Yeah, let's do that.
So yeah, we'll each bring like two horror films to the table.
The next episode is Legend.
Next episode is Legend, director's cut.
Oh.
All right, everybody. Thanks again, as always, for joining us for episode 220 of Moviesucktastic, where we reviewed the film.
How about I just watch Willow in slow motion? That count?
Masters of the Universe. No, that doesn't count.
Ah.
Yeah, Billy Barty's in that one too. They should have just had him play the baby. Too far. Go to our website at Moviesucktastic.com. Listen to all of the episodes there. You can download them as well.
Especially the Jaws 3D episode.
Yes, which I fought tooth and nail with YouTube about, and it got put up. We're even getting comments on it now.
I have to go and look at that because I love that episode.
Yeah. You can actually listen to the show live every Thursday at 8 o'clock. So you can go to our website and you can do that as well. You can go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Moviesucktastic, and you can watch all the trailers. You can get in on the discussion. You can click a link that will take you to the live stream every Thursday. It's all there waiting for you. You can go to our Tumblr page at moviesucktastic.tumblr.com. If you want to leave us an email, the address is themovieguys@moviesucktastic.com. If you want to leave us voicemail, the number is 908-514-4470. If you want, you can also do a Google search for us.
Google it.
Yeah, I fucked that up. I haven't done that in a while. Scott's favorite search engine.
You did it perfectly. Google it.
Yeah, Google it.
What are you going to do, Bing it?
No.
Fuck Bing.
No, that's not how I say it, but it's all right. Anyway, you can get the free Android app for your Android phone or tablet, whatever you're using these days, but it's totally free, and everything I mentioned is in there. And that's about it. So go ahead and Google us. Come and find us.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any words of wisdom, Mr. Wilson?
How is the loneliness of being good? Is it measured to the loneliness of being evil?
Nice. Curious quartet.
And then Holly turns to me. Oh, he's lonely. Yes, he is.
Yes, he is. All right, everybody.
He misses his foreskin.
Yeah, well, yeah. We'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
We'll talk next week, and you'll hear us.
Yeah, just don't talk over my line.
Sorry, sir.
Been doing that since episode 2, I think. No, because I don't believe it.
It was unintentional.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
I'll be back.